Welcome everyone, and thank you very much for joining today's session. My name's Ian, and I'm a junior consultant at Turner & Townsend. We're joined today by Mark Byrne, Managing Director, and Catherine Malloy, Operations Director from Cara EPS Limited. The purpose of this event is that it's a retrofit information support and expertise event. This is fully funded by the Department of Energy Security and Net Zero, and RISE is being delivered by Turner & Townsend. So there'll be a presentation, roughly 30 minutes. This will be followed by plenty of opportunity for some questions and discussions to be had. And so we'll hopefully finish up on time. Please do keep your microphones muted and camera switched off during the course of the presentation. The slide deck will be made available after the event in a follow-up email to everyone that attended today. There'll be a clean recording of all of this and all other masterclasses that we deliver in the resources section of the RISE website. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll also provide some useful links at the end in the chat if needed. Please do ask some questions at the end in the chat function, or just unmute your microphone. And yeah, there'll be a question to there'll be an opportunity to ask questions to Mark or Catherine at the end. Finally, there will be a quick satisfaction poll. This is really useful for reporting, so we'd really appreciate if you can all take a minute to just give us your feedback on that. Thanks again, everyone, for joining, and I'll now hand over to Mark to start today's presentation. Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Ian, and hello, everyone. Really pleased to be here today to give a talk on empowering apprentices in retrofit project, and it's quite apt that Turner & Townsend have asked to do it. I'm aware of Turner & Townsend have got a really good record in promoting people through the business, including having younger people on the board. So I'm really pleased to support what Turner & Townsend are doing, and I know they've got a fantastic sustainability team as well. So thank you for that. I'm going to take you through a few slides, and as Ian says, more than happy to take any questions, observations after the presentation. So I'm going to try my hand at technology and start the slides. So here we go. I'm just going to it's the short agenda, so it's about us, understand our communities, delivering impact, and some of the success stories. So a little bit about yourself and us, and I've also got my colleague Catherine Malloy. Now that is actually me. I could get done on the Trade Description Act here because that's an old photo I actually had hair. So anyone who knows me looks different. So I must get an updated photo. So but it is actually me, believe it or not. And I've also got Catherine with me, who is going to really support on particularly some of the question and answers. And Catherine, so I'm Managing Director of Cara EPS Limited.
Sorry, one second, Mark. I think the slides might have frozen slightly.
Have they?
Yeah, it's just frozen on the first slide.
Should I come back?
Okay,
let me.
That's it now.
It's done it.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just talking about my photograph. Someone might have seen it. So I've got head hair. When the camera comes off later, you'll see it's not. So that's it. So Catherine's got an up-to-date photo. Apologies. So Mark Byrne, Managing Director of Cara EPS, and I'm an advocate of lifelong learning. I've got a huge interest. I'm also a practitioner in construction excellence, which this is upon it as the whole value piece of which of working in our communities, giving opportunities to people is part of the whole value piece. So and I'm a real so regarding construction excellence, it's a national organisation, come out of the Eagle Labour reports. So I'm an advocate of them. I'm also trying to embed it in my business. Trying is the operative word, but we try and we do some good stuff. And I've got Catherine with me here.
Good morning.
So I'll be taking you through the presentation, but as I say, Catherine particularly of interest in the Q&A.
Yeah.
So that's enough about us for the moment. I'll try and get this next slide. So who we are and what we do. Can you see that, Ian? Yeah.
Yep, it's just it's a wee bit delayed, but yeah, perfect.
Oh, okay. Super. So yeah, a little bit about Cara EPS. So we are a young SME. We're probably 3 years, 3 years old. So we're still relatively young. We're multidisciplinary, and when we're not mind by multidisciplinary, we work right across from surveying right through to do lots of surveying, various types of surveying. We do retrofit, we do plan works, improving properties really. So it is really important to emphasise. I think retrofit can often be almost a sort of a fake industry, if you like. It is about improving homes and the places we live, and that's in the broadest sense. So of which energy efficiency is part of it, but also healthy homes, which are hear a lot of that now. So we are doing plan work, but everything we do is try to improve the performance of a building, and particularly energy efficiency, but also understanding the residents' needs, and also trying to create healthier homes. So often we can get pigeonholed into the term retrofit. We do lots of innovation stuff as well. So we're out there, we've got an innovation strategy, some really interesting stuff that's out there at the moment that we have trialed and we're trialing. Again, just decarbonisation, but also try to reduce fuel bills. So that's us. We're 3-year-old. We're still an SME. And yeah, based here in Salford. You're going to hear me say authentic partnering alliancing, because that's what we specialise in. And I want to say authentic because I think partnering can be overused, but we are authentic, or certainly trying to be. And what I mean by that, real partnering and alliancing does mean investing in each other, creating long-term partnerships, creating trust relations, aligning objectives, and delivering better outcomes. So we would term ourselves authentic partnering alliancing, and with continuous improvement bedded in. We can always do better. I've put on the slide here, we're a disruptor business, because when I set the business up, I do believe our business models are outdated, and they do need challenging. The way we do things and approach our sector is still I think antiquated in many ways. So I'm going to set the business up. I mentioned construction excellence earlier, and are very much set upon their principles. So lots of collaborative working, integrated project teams. So I'd like to think we create a little bit of disruption, but in a positive way. I'm a real believer that we do need some different business models. So this is perhaps bit of a different business model, which I'm happy to talk about any aspects of it after in the Q&A. I mentioned Egan and Latham there because I'm old enough now. I also had the good fortune to work shortly under Michael Latham, and now construction excellence, of which I'm a practitioner of. Egan and Latham, they were the reports really that laid the foundation for construction excellence. So construction excellence was set up after the Egan and Latham reports, which identified, there were independent reviews into construction industry, and they concluded it wasn't fit for purpose. So anyone on the call may still recognise some of these traits today, but it was adversarial, short term, low productivity, and not the best industry. So this is an industry I love, by the way. Absolutely love it, but I don't hide away from some of our challenges. So it is about improvement. So out of the Egan and Latham reports, and I mean, while they're now, the 80s and 90s, there's still the recommendations. A lot of the issues are still there, but the recommendations that they laid out is absolutely still critical to today. So I just urge anyone to check those out, Egan and Latham. So on the recommendations of the Egan and Latham report, which was long-term arrangements, early engagement, integrated and collaborative working, aligned objectives, collaborative procurement, commercial arrangements that support collaboration, and identifying outcomes, joint problem solving, all these good things really that shouldn't be alien to our industry, but often is. And it's quite nuanced, and it's obviously complex why it hasn't improved, but it has led to low productivity. That's why governments and our governments, no matter which colour really of or shade of political involvement, that they're all of the same opinion, or they seem to be, that it needs to improve. So construction industry, I've got lots of relatives in it, but we all seem to. So it has a wide-reaching effect on productivity and therefore GDP. So it is important to try and do things a bit differently, especially in construction, as we sort of face these challenges. 10 or 15 years ago, we never had probably net zero put upon us. We never had some of the fuel challenges we've got, and fuel poverty. So we got some real challenges, and Webb's Law, of course, that we've had come through recently. So there's some real challenges within housing. So as Einstein, I think he said, you get the same, if you keep doing the same thing, you get the same result. So I would actually challenge anyone to follow the thing of carry on doing the same thing. We're going to get, so I don't think, with the challenges that we do have, and some of the technologies and some of the new processes and ways of thinking, that we can, or it's acceptable to carry on as we are, and to meet those challenges. So perhaps we can talk about that in the Q&A. Well, I put data led because it's so important. To how do we convince people to change? You're not listening to me, certainly. It has to be through an evidence-based approach and data-led. And we have got the tools now to be able to do it. So it's very much about, I mentioned surveying as part of the business, and it very much is. We've got some really exciting stuff we'll be able to announce later, that we including KTPs, to really bring us into the digital age, but really help the sector. So data led, I think it's really important, because how do we make large clients, housing associations, absolutely, perhaps put the argument for change, and that is through data, and you make better decisions through data. So our business, we digitalize it more, but also surveying. We do lots of surveying, because anyone on this meeting that's in housing, you probably recognise we've got pretty poor data in housing. So we do try and do lots of surveying to establish current state. You've heard me talking on long-term relationships, focused on value. So I won't go on too much, but it is very much, I just want to, so this is about apprenticeships, which people would say social value. I just talk about value, because any good business should be doing these, not just because it's a good thing to do. I think it's a great thing to do. However, it is if you want to grow your business or sustain your business, I'm not sure how you can't do that without looking into our talent pool, which are out there. And again, long-term relationships. That is how really focus on some long-term goals, long-term objectives, work in an integrated way is how we achieve better value. So that's a little bit about who we are, what we do. On to the next slide now. Please do say if no one can see it. So really around the talk that I've been asked to do today was centered around the Social Housing Decarbonisation Fund Wave 2.1, and we worked in partnership with Southway Housing Trucks, took a lead from the very early days as part of the JMCA consortium, and we very much I talked about early engagement earlier. So Southway engaged us very early in the process. So we're a part of the bidding. We understood the data, did lots of cleansing of data. So we're really well positioned to deliver and get off to a start. It was quite an ambitious project. There was 900 properties that was in delivery, which was around 20% of Greater Manchester decarbonisation within social housing. So not unconsiderable. Quite brave of Southway as well, a relatively new company, but with a really able team, we're able to really get stuck in early engagement. We also undertook the retrofit assessments and the surveys, and in a real integrated way. I know there's a couple of different opinions on that. I'm more than happy to debate later on about the balances and the advantages and perceived advantages of delivering an integrated program. I'm a huge believer in perhaps having an integrated delivery. If you separate the surveys from the supply side and the contract side, it's creating up huge risk for the client that perhaps they may not understand. So happy to debate that later. But we've done a full end-to-end integrated project. We've done it from the market engagement, the scheme marketing, engaging residents, which is so important, and taking the residents on the journey. I mentioned all the surveys we've done. So we've done all the surveys, all the retrofit assessments, all the technical surveys, which gave us a real understanding of the properties, which really helped through delivery. And that was really important because we're really able to work with our assessors and ensure that assessments, it was in our interests to do proper assessments. When we go into anyone's property, it's a pleasure, and it's gold. It's gold. You're getting into a property, and you can understand. So why are you going to spend half an hour to just whiz through a property when you're going to be delivering sort of lots of work based on it? So that allowed us to really get some good survey data, which allowed us to identify some of the issues around the properties, what measures were needed, and particularly some of the added value stuff around trying to ensure that it's not just delivered in a compliant way, but much more than that. So identifying some maintenance issues, sharing that with Southway, working with an integrated project team. The typical work we carried out was cavity wall extraction and infill. So everyone's probably heard that's been involved in retrofit. Some of the previous issues we've had around cavity wall infill with the wall, and probably lack of quality checks. So it was a large program of cavity wall extraction. Southway were quite brave. They recognised there were issues, as there are national issues regarding cavity wall extraction. They were quite brave, and we agreed to look at each property and see which ones were failing and extract. And we also done some extra checks and balances to make sure they were done. Loft insulation, low energy light bulbs, and up to achieving that EPCC, which was part of one of the core objectives of SHDF, delivering SHDF. So we done 900. It's a 2-year program. So just early engagement were involved very early, and including the consortium bid to the combined authority to what was Bays and now DESNES, and integrated collaborative working. So we had some really good members from Southway working with us that probably knew how to get the best out of a contractor, and treated us valued our input. We had customer satisfaction, I'm proud to say, 99%. Customer satisfaction. Any issues we did have, we took care. Is the lessons learned to be? Absolutely. So whenever you hear you talk about me or my company, it is about continuous improvement, and it is about understanding where you can improve, and we're certainly doing that. But we're proud to say we had a customer satisfaction of 99%. Again, we had a young company, and we delivered 20% of Greater Manchester's decarbonisation. So I'm really proud of that, and our colleagues at Southway. So really, what sort of getting into the building up to what we've been asked to talk about, including training, apprenticeships, employment roadmap. I put that here because I think it's really important just maybe to map out how we approached it. So we've done some client and stakeholder engagement, and what I mean by that, We work with Southway. I do it as what I do. I've done it before in terms of creating jobs and training opportunities. I do it. I don't need to be. I don't need to be encouraged to do it. I do it. But it's really pleasing. When I spoke to Southway about it, they were really interested in doing something. We then identified some stakeholder engagements. I know UK Skilled Academy, they held a boot camp. Some of the internal stakeholders that we had with within Southway, their sort of resident engagement team, they were really interested. So went about engaging residents because I had a business. I had a business to grow. I had a big contract to deliver. I need people to do that. So my natural go-to was the local community and engaging residents. So we had boot camps, we've done some leaflets, we've done some sort of digital campaigning just to try and make people aware, hey, we can't EPS, we're in your area. Do you have any residents that perhaps looking for employment? Particularly those that were unemployed, we're really targeting those because I think that's really important. And also even any residents. So the first port of call was, are you a resident or do you have a relative? So perhaps there was an elderly resident that had one of their grandchilds or son or daughter, if they weren't a resident. So that's it. So resident, relative, or local community, and I was really targeting those unemployed that needed an opportunity. How we got them ready, a boot camp and workplace, a boot camp, and we set up a boot camp with UK Skills Academy to get some work ready, because I think it's important to say how sometimes these things fail, which fuels some of the stereotypes, is perhaps not getting sort of filtering out people who are work ready. We're all at different stages of our lives. Some people, particularly, have been out of work for a longer period. You might not be ready for work. A lot are, but it's about finding those. So there was boot camps put on. I took a real active involvement on this to meet people, and really just biggest thing for me was attitude. So you got through a boot camp or a few interviews, and you can quickly establish, are people ready for work? And the biggest quality I must say is I still have it now employing senior people, is the biggest thing for me is capabilities, but certainly attitude, and particularly when you're starting out or you need you haven't been unemployed, they might not have the greatest skill set, but if they've got the attitude, we'll help them with their skills. So the biggest learner for me, or the biggest, I would say, success in finding someone and making it sustainable, is have a bit of a filtering. So just whatever that is, whether it's a number of interviews, boot camps are really good because you get people kind of find out themselves whether they're ready or not, and then just get to know the person you're talking to, or perhaps going to offer employment to, and you can quickly find out the ones that I certainly would want to apply. Hey, and there was lots of those. What I found was the communities, and I am from the same community in South Manchester. I know it's teeming with talent, so it didn't surprise me. I found some real gems, and there's a lot out there. So we put them through. So we created sort of 10 apprentices. And by the way, I could have done a lot more. We've put people on apprentices or MVQs, and some people are ready for apprenticeships, others for MVQs. There is a bit of a nuance in that. So it's getting to understand the person and the activity, what they're interested in. We tend to be good at things that we're interested in. So I took a lot of time speaking to our residents and the people we took into employment. What do they like doing? That's my first question. What are you interested in? Are you interested in construction? Are you interested in net zero, retrofit? Are you interested in what you're good at? What do you think you're good at? Or what you like to be good at? Or what you're interested in? And you can really talk, and then their appetite for learning as well. So everyone, there was 10 full-time employment and training opportunities created. Each person was either on an apprenticeship or an MVQ. And then the real challenges start, because it's about starting to map their journey and developing. Because if you don't do that, anyone would, including myself, you become disillusioned, and we've all been there. So it is about, okay, the starting on the journey. We need. I really got anyone who's in my business who is not interested in young people, who is not interested in developing people, who is not interested in training. I don't have them in my business, because it's so important to grow in my business and also giving opportunities to people. I want people with a similar mindset, that they at least are willing. Anyone who's in the industry has had someone sort of take them on, if you like, or take them under the wing, or give them an opportunity. So I only want people in my business. So I made sure all my sort of management were bought into our vision, and that really was growing the business, really getting into some of these communities and find some of these gems, but then also help them through that as well. So it is important to map the journey out for them, keeping regular contact, touch base. The biggest challenge is retaining and helping them reach their potential, which can be a challenge, like anyone, when you're delivering a business, sort of making sure the individuals you're able to retain and help them reach their potential. So that's a really interesting journey. It's a 2-week journey. I must say, everyone was thriving, and I'm really, really pleased. Lessons learned for anyone. We're still learning. What can we do better next time? But I thought it was a really good that we sort of from end, if you like, taking them through. And that last bit is really how do you make people reach their potential? Because it's so frustrating when you see someone, or you speak to someone and they think they're starting out in life and they're thinking, okay, I'm starting relatively at the bottom of the pile. Is this what I've got for the rest of my life? So my conversation with everyone: what do you want to do? There's no glass ceilings in my business, and I've took through of one. I've not told him yet, but he's got real potential, including to be start at director level at some point. He's that through, and this is someone who was unemployed when they came to us. He's gone through to management, and he's really thriving. And so there is potential out there. But it's emphasised to say that reaching their potential is helping people retain it, help their potential is so vital for everyone, not just apprentices, for anyone in life. So that's the challenging bit, running a business and helping people to reach their potential at the same time. So just understanding our communities, really. So I mentioned there was numbers before. We have 10 full-time residents, previously unemployed, and I must say all 10 of those, they're a credit to themselves. I already knew they're out there. I have done lots of it previous throughout my career, and I know, I say I'm from these communities. It's just lots of talent out there, absolutely lots of talent. So it didn't surprise me. And you've got people, you know what, from an employment point of view, someone actually wanting to work. That's fantastic for me to hear, because I had opportunities, I had things to deliver. So far from some of these stereotypes you get, younger person or unemployed, far from it. So my experience was really, really positive. I say they're all either on apprentices or on VQs. We got some multi-skilled apprentices, really good, and that was people where we can really develop them, where they like various aspects. And he's probably a handy person. He's probably a bit of a derogatory word, because multi-skilled, and you can't value enough a multi-skilled person in properties. Electricians, we took, I think, 3 electricians on. They were really interested, and they were talented as well. I mean, I could never become an electrician with my skill set. So I'm really interested to find people out there that just needed a chance, and we took them on qualifications, which all 3 are qualified now, I'm happy to say. Cavity wall, we've done a lot of that. So we did get a number in cavity wall, and the cavity wall was really good. I always explain to people, cavity wall insulation, it's not the best. It's hard work. There's a lot of dust flying about. It's not. But my sort of pitch to them were, listen, this is only a start. We'll take you through other things, which we did do. So if you perhaps don't feel you're up to something else, we can get you on cavity wall. We'll get you on the loft, or the loft. we'll get your qualification. One of the things that we always do, and I come from a background where my mum and dad were both illiterate. Neither of those had qualifications, and it's a real. And I went to university, and they put me to university. One thing I will always say, and I said it to all our trainees, having a qualification, it's a currency. You can exchange it. So every time someone hit, whether they got an MVQ or they hit a milestone, I give them an increase. It's so important to do that, to value them and make sure. So how do we feel valued? We feel valued by being invested in, and also getting a pay rise when they hit certain targets. So a real varied sort of entry level stuff. Some of the electrician were a real aptitude for electrician. I could never be an electrician if I tried. So really interested to find some people that really took to it and done well, and other people were probably just ready for other trades, if you like. One of the big things that we have to do is the other support. So I talked a bit before about the coaching. It's so important to have business in your people. One thing I'm really ruthless about is not having people in your business that don't want to grow people, because that is a sign of, I think, other traits where we don't invest in people. I don't want people that do. I've had such support from the industry. I came in the industry at 16, ended up on building sites, went to university, and even after university, I gravitated back to sites. But I came through in my career, and I've had some people that have really empowered me, encouraged me, and I want to do the same. But I look for the same traits when I'm employing people as well. Are you interested in just some coaching, even if it's just a bit of advice, or taking someone of the wing, or accepting some of the problems that younger people may face, including confidence? It's so important. So some of the practical stuff as well. So I'm proud to say we put about 4 or 5 through driving lessons, because one of the things driving does, it'll help us because they can be more independent, and also we can also help them. It does become, I remember when I, many years ago, learned to drive, it just gives you that extra boost. I can drive, can do it. So we took it, I think it was 4, we paid for lessons. I was happy to do it, and it was great. And they've all passed. And then we were able to, again, it helped my business as well. So more than happy. There was other types of support we helped them out with as well. It's really important to, I think it's really easy to criticise young people. I think back when I was young, I was just like these people, sometimes lacking in confidence. Whatever, the misspent youth, let's say, and we forget what we're like. So you've got to give a little bit of leg room to that, and you've got to accept, but also put some boundaries in place and some discipline. But accept people are young, and what doesn't come sometimes being young is your decision making or even confidence. So it is important to have in your business being able to offer that support as well. I just want to say they're all thriving. They all can be very productive, very quickly. I'll come on to the myths shortly, but I think one of the barriers that we do have in construction is that apprentices or trainees, too much hard work. You've got to put lots of, particularly for small businesses, and it doesn't have to be that way. All are productive. In fact, I could probably do in our business, I could get up to 50% trainees on site. Absolutely, I'd still be productive. So I want to challenge, when I talk about business models earlier, I want to challenge some of the myths out there that trainees can't be productive. They can, and they can be done quickly, especially in construction. So, but again, happy to hear about other people's experiences. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it is, but we should be able to do a lot more. Now, this is where we probably talk about some of the important stuff, the barriers and challenges. So, procurement is one that we do have in construction per se, and I'm quite geeky on, and who knows me, is on procurement, because a great enabler or a great barrier. So I do lots of, I'm quite knowledgeable on procurement. I got a 2nd degree in procurement. I was that interested in it. And I also sit on the verification group for constructing the gold standard, who anyone hasn't heard of, please go and check it out, because we do need to do better procurement. It's still a huge barrier, and we need to move away from lowest cost tendering to a more collaborative form of procurement, value based. So that will always be a barrier to value. And I'm going to talk less about social value, because the whole social value for me is creating apprentices, training job opportunities and training opportunities for people who are removed from the job market and far and furthest from it. To do that with businesses, you do need to work in a collaborative way, and you need collaborative procurement to support that. Otherwise, it makes it very difficult for a company to be able to do what it wants. And you've got to make it core. I've done loads of this, and I said before, and I wasn't being flippant, I could do lots more, and I could have done lots more. It's just something I believe in, and I just like doing it. But also, it helps my business to grow. So businesses are usually good at what you're interested in. So if you're only interested in profit, you'll probably make loads of profit, but you won't do other things. So I think you need to make it core. And certainly for me, to help a business grow, I'm just interested in people that are interested in probably working with us, and younger people. And as I say, I do know out in these communities, there's some, ours I see is talent. So I could have done lots more of it, and I'm not being flippant about that. We could do lots more. You really got to align your objectives as well. So that's working with your housing association to understand what is it you do with your partners and work with them. Listen, mindset, I just touched upon it. Setting up for success, not failure. Move away from tick box. If you're really interested in it, you can do it. There are challenges, but hey, challenges are there to be overcome. Challenging stereotypes, really important. We do it as human beings. We often group people and stereotypes. It's really important to challenge stereotypes of people in our communities, and I've seen them labelled all their lives. It's important to challenge those, because it really is just some of the people in these communities. In fact, lots of people they just want a break, and once you give them a break, it'll help them along. Myth busting. As I've said, I've done it before, and I've nowhere I've failed before. I've done it on really ambitious and probably took too many trainees on, so I've learnt massive. But one thing I will say, it's not huge cost. It's not great support. What you probably need is the longer term relationships. You've got that little pipeline, but it's not huge. Even for small companies like mine, it wasn't huge support. It's all part of really insulating your business and future proofing. So anyone listening, more than happy to talk afterwards off in the chat. It's not as expensive or as sort of time consuming or burdensome as one may think. The leadership as well, I just want to say that as well. I've already touched upon it about having some proper leadership within your business. So for me, if someone is interested in younger people and giving opportunities to people, they've got the right mindset, so they'll be good at quality, they'll be good at other things. And then also, just end on this note, put yourself in their shoes. I don't know anyone in life that hasn't needed a break. Anyone in life that hasn't suffered from a bit of lack of confidence, some more than others, but we've all been there. So put yourself in someone else's shoes. When you're that apprenticeship, you're that apprentice, you're out of work, you're away from the jobs market, put yourself in their shoes. Now, I've had lots of breaks throughout my life, lots of breaks where people have sort of taken me under the wing. So that's what I want to do. But I do look for that in other people as well, in terms of leadership. So it's really important that sometimes we step back and just put ourselves in other shoes, and then you can start understanding where people are coming from. So that's I'm not sure if you've got any more slides. Outcomes are really quickly on this. So 10 full-time residents, they're all thriving, driving, owning and earning, developing and growing. Are really pleased to see these people grow. One of them's got a mortgage. A couple have got married and had babies along the way. So it's really pleasing. Again, 900 properties, 99% customer satisfaction, the return on investment, we have inducted employees that enables the growth. So it's a win-win. Striking gold, I've touched upon it. I know in these communities and from these communities, South Manchester, but right across the UK, and I've travelled all around the UK in communities throughout my career, and all I come across is talent. So I really want to emphasise that. Take off your stereotypes. We all, it's a natural thing. We sometimes label people. You shouldn't. Challenge your own thinking. I often try and do that. Absolutely. So these communities have got people who are real talent. When God's going out giving brain cells, he's not flying over Alderley Edge or Kensington, just dropping brains. He's also doing it everywhere else. So I'd like to leave with that. Proving the concept. I want to give confidence to others. Happy to talk through now any conversations or questions or anything, or even challenge anything we've said. I really welcome that. But I think we're proving the concept in a very small way, but I know it can be done at a larger scale, and I want to do lots more of it. I think that may be it. I'll take you through. Danielle, single mum. She was unemployed. Oh, fantastic. She thrived as a TLO. Ian Yates, really, he's now a site manager. I've got really high hopes for him. He was unemployed, but he's got some real good natural skill sets. So he's coming through, training electrician. He's had a baby, and he's got a mortgage now. So well done to James. Marcel, another fantastic lad. Hey, and he's had some real challenges on the way through, huge challenges, and he handled it better than I would be able to do. So well done, Marcel. Joe Shard, another great lad as well, really took, and he worked through his qualifications, starting on lofts and become Cavic wall installer. So, hey, what a really good lad, and credit to himself. So that was me. I think I ran over time, but I packed a lot in there. Thanks for listening.